Let's Talk Stil'rs. It's kickoff time for the Cigar International's Let's Talk Stil'rs show. Sponsored by Cigars International. Stop by our Bridgeville store today. Parking Chair Vodka. Respect the chair. It's a Pittsburgh thing. Forest Lodge and Campground. Cooks Forest, PA. Your adventure starts here. Visit Canton, Ohio. Red Fox Winery and Lounge.
Hello up, Steelers Nation. It's Tank for Let's Talk Stil'rs. I wish I had some Irish music to play in the background this week, because your Pittsburgh Steelers are taking on, drumroll please, the Minnesota Vikings in Dublin, Ireland. Well, this is historically correct, so you kiddies that get a little history lesson out there. You know, them Norsemen, if you don't know the word, Google it on your old hand computer there. Norsemen are Vikings. Yes, Vikings. And the old Vikings up there from Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, they used to go down to Ireland, raid the coast of Ireland, and, pillage, burn things. That's how the Vikings of old, the Norsemen, got their kicks, burning villages in Ireland. Hey, boys, my name's Dean Thureen. I got an idea. Yes, Dean. Also known as Wolf Meat Eater. Let's go to Ireland and pillage. The Vikings did that, in 11th century, 10th century, 12th century. That's actually how St. Patrick, he became a slave, and they went and the Vikings grabbed him. And they said, "Come on, Pat, put the beer down, put the whiskey down." "Oh, it's where, sirs, you're taking me. We're going to take you to Spain. We're going to sell you, make a few shekels." And eventually St. Patrick made it back to Ireland, and he famously started St. Patrick's Day. Hey, I'm Randy the Tank Tantlinger. You're listening to History Lessons with Tank. Now, this is Let's Talk Stil'rs. Here every Saturday on Fox Sports Net, Radio, IHeart podcast. You can listen to me up in Iceland, Thailand, wherever you have your feet up. It's a big week for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they head over to Ireland. The guys are already there. My friends, the journalism friends, they're already there. I was just there in April with our golf show, Golfing Around. Really didn't have a desire to go back. Do and didn't. If I was 20 years younger, I would have put on the cape and nylons, because if you remember, I was the voice of Steeler Man on KDKA radio with my good buddy Rob Pratt many, many years ago. If I could lose like 20 pounds before we go on the air with our TV show, Let's Talk Stil'rs, 22 The Point Television, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, reaching close to, 2 million households, Ohio, West Virginia, PA. Mike McMahon, the former NFL quarterback who joins me on occasion here on the radio show when he's not calling the offense for the North Catholic Trojans high school team in Pittsburgh. Mike and I will kick off the season. We do the last part of the season. And so excited this year. Our locker room is, drumroll please, the Cigars International store in Bridgeville, where you can get an ice cold beer, you can get something to eat, amongst other things, right? It's Cigars International, Bridgeville. Very excited about that. That's our locker room. We're already filmed with JT Thomas over there. We'll ramp up with doing a few social media things at Cigars International. Check them out at cigarsinternational.com. Trust me, kids, this .com thing, it's going to take off. All right, back to your Steelers in Dublin, Ireland. We got so much to talk about. In the third segment, I'm going to get back to talking about the game in Dublin. For me, it's a little bit different slant. Yeah, I wish I was there. A lot of my friends are, where are you? We're at Temple Bar. That's like Pittsburgh South Side, Temple Bar in Dublin. I'm here in Pittsburgh. Got a lot going on right now. But in the third segment, we're going to get into a little bit more about the Ireland game. Talk about it. But for now, I want to talk X's and O's. All right, X's and O's. X's and O's. Do you have a funny feeling in your gut, like the rest of Steelers Nation, that we should be taking on the Vikings this week? Well, we could easily be victorless, without victory. You barely got by the Jets, right? Last week up in Beantown, the Steelers defense made a nobody-nothing quarterback. Do I need to harken back to Blake Bortles and the Jaguars back in the day when they came here and the Steelers like, hey, we got this. We're in playoffs. We're going to Super Bowl. And Blake Bortles threw for 108 yards, and Leonard Fournette ran right at 102-pound linebacker Sean Spence. Steelers went up to Boston and darn near lost to a quarterback that the $1 trillion, I'm in high inflation. This isn't even the $1 million defense. This is a $1 trillion defense the Steelers supposedly have. You should be walking into, did I forget to mention the Seattle Sea Chickens ruining your opener? You could be 0-3 going in there against the Vikings. But barely. By the skin of your teeth. Did you beat the Jets? Did you beat the Bean Eaters from Boston? The $1 trillion defense we'll get to. But, man, this aggravates me. Tank, it's only football. It's entertainment. Look, man, I love football. I'm talking like I'm still playing. I'm 60. Began playing when I was 8 years old. Worked for the NFL Players Association. Coached. Was a guest coach at my alma mater at Latrobe High School this summer for one day, and I loved it. Had those kids ready to run through a brick wall. I love football. So, this is hard to watch. So we'll get to the $1 trillion defense in a bit. I want to talk about your offense. Hear me loud. Hear me clear. Mike Tomlin has once again given you a horrible offensive coordinator. Not since Bruce Arians left have I'm just going to call them the Tomlins from now on, okay? In this segment, they're not the Steelers. They're the Tomlins. Note the sarcasm. Mike Tomlin has once again given you an offensive coordinator that doesn't know what he's doing. Why do you think Arthur Smith didn't last in Atlanta? Arthur Smith was the head coach of the Falcons. He was also their offensive genius. So Mike Tomlin again added to his resume of idiocies, decides, you know who I want for my offensive coordinator? No, Mike, who's that? Because you know, Mike, Matt Canada stunk. Oh, turn the page. We never talk about the past with the Tomlins. Can't do it. We don't live in our fears. I only talk about the nows. Oh, you don't want to talk about Randy Fichtner, Todd Haley, Matt Canada. No, I'm Mike Tomlin. We're turning the page. How dare you bring up the layers of the onions? It is my folly. In my wizard mind, I have decided that the guy that got fired by the Falcons, their head coach, their offensive coordinator, I will hire to be my offensive coordinator. I am a genius. Well, Mike, what do you like about Arthur Smith? What did you see when he was in Atlanta? Well, I'm Mike Tomlin. I just want to tell you, in 2021, that genius with that beautiful mustache, he looks like Dudley Do-Right for your older, Whiplash or whatever the guy's name was. That's who he looks like. In 2021, the genius, Arthur Smith, took those Falcons to 7-10. Then he put his analytical mind at it. And in 2022, and he said, I'm going to revamp this Falcons team and we're going to succeed. And they went 7-10. Then Arthur Smith said, okay, you know what? This thing I got here with the Falcons, I'm a genius. My dad owns a Wells Fargo or FedEx, or I started out delivering packages down the street. I'm a genius. And in 2023, Arthur Smith took his genius of an offensive coordinator mind into that season and said, this is the year I've rebuilt. And in 2023, the Falcons went 7-10. 21, 7-10. 22, 7-10. 23, 7-10. Class, get out your calculus. Overall record, 21-30. Yeah, 21-30. They run them out of Atlanta. Mike Tomlin says, that's my man. That's my man. Well, Mike, how'd you come to that conclusion? Oh, same arithmetic. That means math for you idiots, because we know Tomlin's an arrogant son of a gun and likes to talk down to people. That's a fancy word, like my other fancy words, arithmetics. For you idiots, it means math. According to my math, 7-10, 7-10, 7-10 equals offensive genius. It's the same calculus I used to hire Randy Fichtner and Matt Canada. I am Mike Tomlin. I have spoken. You shall not question me. So, on this rant, let me close it out about Arthur Smith's. You got his head coaching record. You want to know what his offense did? Well, it's the same one you're seeing in Pittsburgh for now 1 year and 3 games. In 2021, Arthur Smith's offense ranked near the bottom in the league. 27th. 32 teams, 27th. You do the math. Yeah. 2022, same thing. 2023. Oh, they had, they bumped up to 26th best offense in the league. Arthur Smith doesn't know what the hell he's doing. All right, I'm Tank Tandler. We got to take a commercial. When we come back, more Arthur Smith, more Tomlin, more trillion-dollar defense analysis. These guys are going to give me a heart attack. Go Tomlins!
Let's Talk Steelers.
Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Steelers. I'm your host, Randy the Tank Tantlinger. Thanks for listening to us on the IHeart Podcast Network. That's right. If you're a Steelers fan living in Antarctica, I appreciate it. If you're living in Argentina, Iceland, Krakow, Poland. We actually have a lot of Steelers fans in Poland. You know, Pittsburgh is a melting pot of ethnicities, and Steelers Nation Black and Gold is worldwide. However, the city of Dublin, Ireland, always remember, friends, Dublin is not Ireland. If you've ever been, that will make sense to you. In the third segment, we'll be getting into that Steelers versus the Norsemen Vikings game. That's a horn. It's a Viking horn, you morons. He sounds like a moose. Don't do that, Tank. It's bow season. You'll get a bolt through your chest. Watching these Tomlins, you know, I'm not calling them the Steelers for this show. They're called the Tomlins moving forward. He'd love that, wouldn't he? Changing the name to the Pittsburgh Tomlins. But Steelers worked so well for so long. Yes, but it's the Pittsburgh Tomlins now. Man, they're going to give me a heart attack. Not necessarily the players, okay? I just, oh my gosh. We'll get to the $1 trillion defense and their underperformance. But in the last segment, I was on Arthur Smith hard because he sucks. I can say that word, S-U-C-K-S. What's the big thing with the thing at the end? S-U-C-K-S, exclamation point! This guy stinks! What don't you understand? Okay? I said it after last year that Arthur Smith stinks. Fire him now! You want to hire an offensive coordinator? You already have him in-house! You already have him in-house! You haven't had, since Bruce Arians left, the kind of offensive coordinator you have in-house right now. His name ain't Arthur Smith either, who went 7-10, 7-10, 7-10 with the Falcons. His name ain't Matt Canada, who don't even have a job coaching junior Pee-wee football right now. Tank, who is this mystery offensive coordinator that the Pittsburgh Tomlins have? Oh, you don't know? Not since Bruce Arians have you had this amount of knowledge, talent. See, like, if you're a veteran boxer, you've been in so many fights that, man, you know what's coming from the other fighter before it even comes. Yeah, left hook, uppercut, right cross. You watched film on them. You know tendencies. You know if I'm going to throw a right uppercut, I got to dip that right shoulder first. You can't have it parallel to your other shoulder if you're trying to throw an uppercut. You got to dip that right shoulder. That's what a boxer knows. You have Arthur Smith's replacement. Oh, sure, you can keep paying Smith. Just tell him to shut up. Put him in the box. Take the headphones off of him. Make him shave that stupid mustache. Who wears a mustache in 2020? I'm sorry if anybody's wearing a mustache. I'm not a mustache guy. Wouldn't look good on me. And it sure to hell don't look good on Arthur Smith. Tank, who's this mystery offensive coordinator that the Pittsburgh Tomlins have? Not since Bruce Arians have you had this kind of knowledge and talent. His name is future NFL Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. Let me say the name to you again. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has forgot more about offensive football and probably defensive. Has forgotten more than Arthur Smith will ever know. This has to end. You know, the writing's already on the wall. There was a sense going into this season that, you know, Mike Tomlin better put up this leading the Pittsburgh Tomlins to another 500 non-losing mediocre season. A lot of you people out there in Black and Gold Nation ain't getting happy with it. Ain't been happy with it. So, the administrators down there with your Pittsburgh Steelers, some of them got the name Rooney. Some of them got the name Con. Threw it all up against the wall going into this season, didn't they? Threw it against the wall. And said, let's see what sticks. We are the Pittsburgh Tomlins. You easily could be 0-3 going into Dublin against the Vikings this weekend. Hey, I'm Tank Tantlinger. You're listening to Let's Talk Steelers. For this week, I'm calling it the Pittsburgh Tomlins. I'm sure in his mind, he thinks that's what they're called. Let's go through this roster with the Steelers offense this year, because Mike Tomlin don't like to live in the past. Don't ever bring up my past failures, Matt Canada, Randy Fichtner. Who amongst you right now doesn't think, and everybody went, why are you bringing in Jonnu Smith? Why are you bringing him in? We got Muth. We got Darnell Washington. I'll get to him. Jonnu Smith is a weapon. This guy's an athlete. Is he not? What very little you've seen of him. 9 years in the league, 6'3", 250. And he moves like lightning. He'll catch whatever you want. Think of your tight end core right now. Do you see Arthur Smith attacking the middle of the field? How long you want to answer that? Let's do something fun here. Let's grade this out. Is Arthur Smith 7-10, 7-10, 7-10 with the Falcons using his tight end weapons? Let's go through those weapons. Muth! Pat Freiermuth. Could you imagine if the Chiefs had Freiermuth right now, what he would look like? Yeah. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Freiermuth in a Chiefs uniform. Andy Reid would be losing his mind. He'd have two incredible tight end weapons. One you just throw down the middle and you throw it to him while he's looking up at what's-her-name up in the box. I love you too, sweetheart. And Freiermuth catching anything you throw to him and knocking people's teeth out. Andy Reid would love to have Pat Freiermuth, not Arthur Smith. No, not Arthur Smith. Jonnu Smith, 6'3", 250, runs like a gazelle and will catch anything you want. You brought him here for a reason. Nah. Yeah, sure, we've thrown it to him a couple times. Why not? He had 3 receptions against the Patriots. Big-time game, 4 catches against the Sea Chickens. 5 against the Jets, and you almost lost the game. It's all right, we're using him. It's because Arthur Smith wanted Jonnu Smith here. You play the guys you like, right? Darnell Washington. Matt Canada, the idiot, didn't know that Darnell was a good football player. Matt Canada left him languish on a bench. He is as big as a U.S. Steel building. He will catch anything you throw at him. Matt Canada left him on the bench. Arthur Smith barely used him last year. Run a post route. If Russell Wilson gets in trouble, he'll find you. Nah, Arthur Smith can't. That tight end core, talent-wise, if you gave them to Andy Reid right now, they'd be going back to the Super Bowl. Arthur Smith's offensive ratings with the Falcons, once again, in the 3 seasons he was there, the best he had him up to was 26th in the league. And this is who Mike Tomlin chose to lead your offense the last 2 seasons for your Pittsburgh Tomlins. I'm running out of time here. Jaylen Warren. Let me ask you something. Did you know he was talented the first time he picked up a ball a couple of years ago? Not Matt Canada, not Arthur Smith last year. All right, I got to go to a break before I have a heart attack. I'm Tank Tantlinger. You're listening to Let's Talk Steelers. Also for this show, we're calling it the Pittsburgh Tomlins, because that sure the hell looks like what this team has become. Not the Steelers, the Tomlins.
In terms of their fourth down play, and we weren't successful enough. We had an opportunity to really seize control of the game had we won some more of those, particularly the one that was on the long field. But they kept some drives alive. They possessed the ball. They minimized our opportunity to possess the ball in doing so, and I think that made sledding tough for us at different times of the game, particularly in the second half offensively. We stalled ourselves out some. We threw an interception, I think, on the third play of the second half. We went 3 and out after that on the next possession. I think we got a holding call on possession and 10, and when 1st and 10 goes to 1st and 20, there's a high likelihood for 3 and out football. And so, you know, some of that popcorn, lack of execution or lack of detail in execution, along with their willingness to go for it on possession down moments, really altered the time of possession. And I think it kind of affected us at times in terms of the way we'd like to play. I thought we initially were running the ball very well at the early stages of the game, for example. I thought we had a tough time regaining our rhythm because of some of the sequences and things that I mentioned just a second ago. But you live and you learn, man. We made the necessary plays to win, certainly. I love the way we're operating in the red area offensively. We got to be one of the top teams in the league in terms of red zone efficiency. You need that. You need to kick extra points as opposed to field goals, and like the overall trajectory of that, we're spreading the ball around to a lot of people, starting to really establish some personality things. But I think a lot of people are, as you move from game 3 to game 4, you're starting to see some things and getting a feel for how to best divide the labor up in different circumstances. And so there's some general collective growth in all 3 phases. I thought we took a step forward in our kicking game. Our kickoff team in particular, I thought, was better than it has been. We were consistently making stops inside the 30 and, you know, making them play on a longer field and winning the battle of real estate in that space. And we're getting some play from some young people. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Jack Sawyer, a guy that hadn't played a lot of special teams prior to the National Football League. He was a defensive end, if you will, at Ohio State, and I think he had 3 tackles in special teams last week. And so we're getting some collective growth. We're getting some individual growth, such as life this time of year. It's good to do so and win at the same time. And so certainly we hope to continue to do that this week. From a health perspective, just giving you an update on some guys. You can characterize Alex Highsmith as out this week with his ankle. Deshaun Elliott and Joey Porter certainly have a chance. I just saw Deshaun working out just a few minutes ago. We'll work those guys this week and let the amount of their participation and the quality.
Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Steelers. I'm your host, Randy the Tank Tantlinger. Don't forget to watch our TV show, Let's Talk Steelers, with myself and former NFL quarterback Mike McMahon on Pittsburgh's 22 The Point, Sundays at 10:30. Starting, I think it's Sunday, November 2nd. We only do half the season. Mike's an offensive coordinator. for the Pittsburgh High School North Catholic Trojans team. My nephew Joey Felitsky leading the WPIL in passing. Hello, Pat Narduzzi. Joe Felitsky calling. That'll never happen. There's another guy that needs run out of Pittsburgh, Pat Narduzzi. Don't even get me started on that. And I'm a Pitt Panther. Literally a Pitt Panther. Played left bench for the awesome, greatest defensive mind ever at Pitt, Foge Fazio. I do want to get to the game in Dublin. And I have a different take than you do. I'm half Irish, I'm half Swiss. I go to Ireland every April to golf. I really do. I really, really do. Maybe a different take on the game against the Vikings. I was going to get to the $1 trillion defense. But I can't get off Arthur Smith's back. Because it's horrible. Your Steelers could be marching into Dublin to take on the Norsemen from Minnesota. That's big Viking opens up the game with that horn. I love that. Wearing that horned helmet and a fur jacket. It's pretty good. Thank you, Tank. You're welcome, Tank. Let's get back to the show, Tank. Sure, Tank. Have a sip of coffee. You know, when you start talking to yourself in the third person, you got issues. I tell you who has issues. It's your Pittsburgh Tomlins. Again, that's what I'm calling them for this show. Because this train wreck that is unfolding in front of your eyes so far. Look, I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying that this team, can't pound out 12 victories. It can. It can. That is, if you fire Arthur Smith, send him up to the box, make him shave off that Dudley Whiplash or who that villain mustache was, take his headphones off, and give him an ice cream sundae. One for every quarter. Just keep him away from the offense. Turn it over to the best offensive coordinator you've had since Bruce Arians. Aaron Rodgers. Let me say it one more time so it gets through your coconut skull, Mike Tomlin. Not since Bruce Arians have you had an offensive coordinator this talented. It weren't Randy Fichtner, weren't Matt Canada, certainly ain't Arthur Smith. His name's Aaron Rodgers, man. Been there, done that, NFL Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. Arthur Smith will never know what Aaron Rodgers does. What he sees when he reads a defense, what he knows, what he's been through. Send Smith to the booth upstairs, take the headphones off of him, let him coordinate FedEx shuttles up to Alaska while Aaron Rodgers is running this offense. I want to get back to the depth chart, okay? It's being wasted by Arthur Smith. We just talked about the tight ends, okay? If you gave Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, and Darnell Washington to Andy Reid and the Rattlesnake, Patrick Mahomes, down there in Kansas City, they would be back in a Super Bowl this year. Argue against that. Muth, Smith, Washington. Maybe the best tight end core in the league. Not in Arthur Smith's offense. Did you not know Jalen Warren was talented 3 years ago? Did you not know Jalen Warren was talented? Did you not know he's explosive? By the way, he's in year 4. Do you know what the average career is for running backs? It ain't 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it's about 3. You want to talk about wasting talent? You knew it the second you saw this guy hit the field a couple years ago. All I'm going to say is this. That idiot Arthur Smith didn't even use Jaylen Warren that last year very much. Incorrectly. Now, like, everybody's like, oh my God, is this guy good? You didn't know that? You didn't know that. You didn't know that. DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf. This guy's a beast, man. 6'4", 230. Runs like the wind. Catches anything. He's a baller. He's a team player. He gives everything. 7 years in the league. You are 3 games in. 3 games in. The best you could do with him. He looked stellar against the Jets, who suck, with 83 yards. You targeted him 4 times. That's 20-yard average. He's picking up 20 yards. Average on 4 catches. And you ain't getting him the rock? Then against the Sea Chickens, you decide to target him 3 times. 3 times. Against the Patriots, you get your head out of your butt if you're Arthur Smith, and you 3 targets. 3 targets. You have a great tight end core. You have DK Metcalf. You have Jaylen Warren out of the backfield. This offense should be humming. Oh, one other little name on the depth chart. Because as I told you before, Pittsburgh Stil'rs, in an attempt to save Mike Tomlin's legacy for the Pittsburgh Tomlins. Hey, you're listening to Let's Talk Stil'rs. I'm Tank Tantlinger. iHeart. Fox Sports. NFL experience, 21 years, number 8, Aaron Rodgers. This guy still has it. Is he fast? Nope. Is he smart? Yep. Has he seen more than Arthur Smith has even conceived of in his dreams? Yep. Do me a favor. Either go back, watch the last 3 games. This morning's already done. Are being played in Dublin. He's got a release that is unbelievable. Wham, wham, wham. Just like Danny Marino. Not as good as Marino's. You brought Aaron Rodgers here. DK Metcalf. Jonnu Smith. Offensively. Because you're all in. Full hand poker, man. I call. All the chips are on the table. You threw it up against the wall. This season, you're all in. Because we got to save Mike Tomlin's legacy and prove he's a genius. Randy Fichtner. Matt Canada. And now, Arthur Smith. I can't say this enough. Arthur Smith stinks. This offense stinks. I didn't even get into Broderick Jones being moved to left tackle. I like Broderick. He's such a nice kid. But he's a guard in this league. He is a guard. He proved it last year out on the right side. Now you got him on the blind side protecting an aging Aaron Rodgers Hall of Famer. That's Arthur Smith. That's his final call. Sure, Pat Meyer, offensive line coach, who I like a lot, great guy. It's his decision. But finally, it is Arthur Smith and Tomlin's decision to say, oh, he's doing a stellar job protecting the $1 million arm in Aaron Rodgers. Wow, I didn't even get to talk about Ireland this week. Go Stil'rs. Beat them Norsemen over there in Dublin. I'm I'm just beside myself about this lack of offensive production. Didn't even get to talk about the $1 trillion defense failing. Looks like a $5 wooden nickel right now. We'll see what they do against the Vikings. I'm not optimistic what the Vikings did. The only thing in favor, this is a home game for the Steelers in Dublin. All right, hey, I'm Randy the Tank Tantlinger. Don't forget to stop by the Stil'rs International Store in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. Get a cup of coffee. Get a good meal. Sit back and relax at Stil'rs International in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. Until next week, I'm Randy the Tank Tantlinger. Arthur Smith, I'm having nightmares about this guy. Shave that mustache.